I'm glad you're still with us here on Morning at NTV. We are crossing the T's and dotting the I's on a conversation that could shape the political landscape in ways that we are yet to see. The ticket of the National Unity Platform, that is the opposition party led by Robert Kyagulanyi Ssentamu, finds itself in a spot of bother as we speak. The decisions that were taken by the Election Management Committee to allot the tickets for NUP to certain individuals ahead of others who, in their own opinion, were clearly better than those that were selected is, of course, bringing a lot of attention and tongues wagging. It's a conversation that you should not at any one time miss even for a second. With me on set is Honorable Hassan Kirumira, the MP for Katikamu South, and Honcho at the National Unity Platform. I must say, congratulations on getting the NUP ticket for Katikamu South.
Thank you.
I also have Kassim Kamugisha, a seasoned political commentator, lawyer, and a member of the National Resistance Movement Party. Thank you for making it time. We have David Musiri, a member of the National Unity Platform, a man who carries the weight of those that have not received the NUP ticket, at least on Morning at NTV this morning. Thank you for joining us, Mr. Musiri.
Good morning to you.
And on my extreme left is a liberal mind for now, and a neutral voice, especially in as far as this conversation is concerned. Monday Akol, political analyst and Pan-Africanist. Many thanks for making time. Gentlemen, there are voices in certain political circles right now that are saying this could be the make or break for an opposition party. Some will agree, others won't agree. Let me begin with a neutral voice. Monday Akol. Right now, there are voices within the National Unity Platform that are disappointed, dismayed, shocked that the ticket did not go to particular individuals, including themselves. What's your take on this development?
Well, my take on this development is that that is how Ugandan politicians are, that they get into politics with one mind, winning. They don't look at the other side. And secondly, we find that the politicians actually in Uganda have not taken time to build parties. The voters are more committed to their parties than actually the politicians. That politicians will always ride on sentiments where they see that perhaps if today the wave is NUP in Central, somebody will decamp to NUP. If tomorrow it changes to PFF, okay, so that is how the politicians, that they don't really take time to build their own. Then the other issue of people being disappointed that so I felt I'm better than so and so and so and so has taken the card. I have a feeling that in every multi-party dispensation, parties will pick their flag bearers depending on what they want to achieve. For example, a party will always choose loyal cadres in its stronghold.
Okay.
Yes, because they want numbers, voting numbers, those who are loyal to the party. Then a party will always choose those they feel that actually are in terms of intelligence, in terms of information, in terms of brightness, in terms of their CV, in areas where they know that they are facing competition because you need to parade your best. And then they will always, in areas where they know that they totally don't have support, they can give a card to anyone. So that's why you find that in areas like central Uganda, Kampala, NUP is looking at loyalty more than actually what other people would be looking at. Yeah, just like also in NRM, that they are strongholds. The issue is loyalty becomes yardstick number one when they are choosing somebody who is going to represent them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Loyalty coming through. I would like to refer to an article here by Derek Wandera and David Walugembe, and they write, the National Unity Platform has removed the privilege to carry the party flag from some of its key leaders, citing lack of loyalty and performance. We're glad we have a member of the National Unity Platform with us here this morning, David Musiri. What's your take, and could you also elaborate on the feeling that you expressed of disappointment of not receiving the card or ticket?
First of all, I want to clear the air and arrest the fears of my voters in much in the West. I am not actually disappointed. We are only just surprised of what happened, because when you subject yourself to a process, of course you know that you are not on alone. To the process that has more than one individual, and a card cannot be given to two people.
Definitely.
Therefore, you expect that one of you somehow will come out with a card, will come out winner. We are only surprised, for example, for the case of March in the West, that someone who was not part of the process was declared winner. That was the challenge. And actually, for NUP, of course, gave us a window, or gave us a window that where we expect to have justice. This tribunal is headed by Dr. Kanabi. And Dr. Moses Kanabi, we know that he's a conscious person, a professor from Machambogo University, who we think that he can actually deliver justice. That is only what we, but in any case, even in athletics, when you are running, of course everyone expects to become winner, you know. But at the end of the day, maybe if you are going for like raps, in the second rap you'll find that your engine does not have what it takes for you to make it the first there. So
you spoke about the fact that the one who apparently received the ticket was not part of the process. Did I hear you right?
Yeah. It was not part of the process.
Which process was in
the process was vetting process.
That vetting process.
Yeah, the vetting process. It was, you know, a political party is a public entity. Everything should be done in the light. Okay. And we know we were concerned. Cameras were there. Even actually NTV was there. So one who was given was actually vetted as woman MP, who actually now we think that there was a mistake, and that's why there is of course, the window to appeal, and that's exactly what we did. Yesterday, I just lodged in my petition, and we are hopeful that we shall have the justice.
For purposes of clarity, who beat you to the ticket?
Is Zahara.
Zahara.
Yes.
You're claiming Zahara was vetted for two positions, or? No,
it was vetted for one position.
For one position.
That's what we know.
But the switch happened in between.
That's the clarity we need, because of course in such processes sometimes we have events like, for example, the party can come and pronounce itself, say maybe there is a re-evaluation. Okay. Now when they pronounce that there is a re-evaluation, then there are a few aspects that we consider. For example, maybe all the people that contended for the same position, maybe they were not worthy, then you know they will invite in other people to accommodate. So if that is not done, then we are very, very hopeful, because our party has one of the core values called integrity, being honest. So that's what we need to exhibit. All
right, a little bit later we shall look into the switching of constituencies for some aspirants, of course as evidenced by the Kampala woman MP, former aspirant Zahara Luyirika, who will now go for Machindi. Is it Machindi West?
Machindi West, yes.
Great. I don't know what the balancing act was for the party, but I think the political analyst and independent mind will talk to us a little bit later on that. Let's talk to another NUP member, one who appears less aggrieved, of course on account of winning the ticket. Do you believe that there are aspects within or on the house of the vetting that need to be addressed in order to allay the fears of some who might think there was unfairness?
Unfortunately, the person to answer that question is our deputy spokesperson, the Honorable Mufumbira Alex Waiswa.
We couldn't access him.
But unfortunately, he's in prison. And I cannot stand in his shoes to explain what happened during the vetting process. But, of course, as a member of the National Unity Platform and a participant in the vetting process, we all took part in the vetting process, and it was very clear that vetting takes 40% and the ground takes 60%.
60%.
In my own constituency, we are 4 candidates that were vetted: engineers, lawyers, and of course me as a teacher, and I came out victorious. And I want to believe in the strong institution of the National Unity Platform, the Election Management Committee, for the decisions, for the very strong decisions that were made during the vetting process and the entire process of identifying candidates. Of course, questions are going to be asked here and there, but as a party, we need to move on. And I liked the position of our independent mind here, that in democracy, we have to accept that sometimes you got to win and you got to lose. Either way, we cannot be on a winning side. And when that happens, when a loss happens, you need to accept. And that's why, as the National Unity Platform, we need to develop our party, move to a whole new level, where leadership is not by force, where leadership is not by accident, where leadership is an engagement between minds that want to move forward our country. Of course, as the National Unity Platform, will come out to express its opinion and views about this. And I'm very happy that the Honorable Musiri David submitted a petition before the committee, or before the office, before the tribunal, and possibly they are going to look into that. And it would be very, very significant for us as members, even Musiri himself, to leave it to the party to make a decision, a final decision on that particular petition, instead of coming out in public and a debate about it. What is internal within our party should be protected. And as the National Unity Platform, we have to fight for our party. Musiri David is a cadre of the National Unity Platform, and I want to believe he's been there. It's not the first time that he missed out on the NOP ticket. Even I remember in 2021, 2021, and definitely there are reasons, and he's very close to the leadership of the National Unity Platform, the Secretary General, the President of the party. I'm sure at some time they are going to call out. They are going to call him out and agree on what transpired in the process. But right now, what belongs to the National Unity Platform should be discussed within the National Unity Platform until such a time when the public is ready to know what happened. Where we are now, our biggest focus is the campaigns of the president. Yesterday we were in Kamuli, a day before we were in Jinja. Today we are still touring the entire Soga.
Honorable, we shall delve into the campaign a little bit later, but you do introduce something that will also form the crust of our discussion when you speak about the fact that the leadership of the National Unity Platform will, at a certain point, call David Musiri and talk.
Because he's a cadre.
Because he's a cadre. That reveals something, and we shall examine it a little bit later. Allow me engage Kassim Kamugisha. You're looking at all this from an observer's point of view. Why? Because I've known you to be very objective, especially when looking at the body politic in the country. But before you submit on this particular development, allow me give you a scenario where I'm assuming I'm the chairperson of the Elections Management Committee of the National Unity Platform. I have candidate A who scores 46 on the ground scorecard, and scores 28 in the vetting. Now, this is on account of either because he has lesser credentials in terms of either academics and then career progression and ability to articulate matters, policy or the politics of the day. So he gets a total of 74. Yes. Then I have candidate B who scores 40, 6 less by candidate A on ground, and comes and scores 35 in the vetting and scores 75, 1 mark ahead of candidate A. If the sentiment that has been told to us that ground carries a lot more, and even if the already set parameters are anything to go by 60%, is it likely that candidates scored higher marks overall but were left out on account of scoring better on ground than the one that scored better than them in vetting?
But Chris, you are asking an NRM person.
No, I've already told you.
Internal processes.
He's looking at this as an independent observer, and he has demonstrated over time the ability to look at things objectively. Maybe he's going to shoot himself in the foot today.
Thank you, Chris. Political parties are vehicles to achieving power. And every political party has got an approach to every constituency. And at some point, the political party reserves the right, especially in processes that are not public. The party deserves the right to form a decision. And the ground will always shift. Because elections shall be in January next year, and we're in October. Actually, we have almost 3 months to elections. The ground will always shift. So the decision to pick someone who might look to have been weaker somewhere could be based on how the party is calculating its ground in terms of achieving victory,
the ultimate goal.
The ultimate goal. And therefore, I would sway my eye from the scores and look at the ultimate goal of winning the constituency, and therefore forming the decision of the political party in picking whom they think is the right person for that constituency.
Are you simply veiling the statement that the vetting was sanitization of consensus within NUP, that some decisions had already been made?
I wouldn't want to take that path because these are internal processes, and I'm not a member of NUP, and so I wouldn't want to give an opinion.
We have with us an independent mind on that. Do you think that the process of vetting, as publicly explained by the National Unity Platform, was simply to sanitize consensus that had already been reached by the party?
To some extent, yes, because ideally there are people right from the start, you knew that they had crossed the red line within NUP, and therefore their chances of getting the card was minimal. For example, you see now in every election, in every political dispensation, there are people who are the captains of the tide, the captains of the wave. So if you are seen in any way trying to compete internally with the captain, then you have crossed the red line. And whoever actually knowingly or unknowingly follows you also is also earmarked for. So that's why you will see that there has been a systematic purge of the DP bloc that joined NUP. Apart from those like Honorable Mwanga Chivumbi, who reached, who reached somewhere and realized that the best way to survive in this party is to toe the line. Now, in Kenya, when Jomo Kenyatta died, Moi came up with the word Nyayo, and Nyayo became a philosophy following the footsteps of the Pathfinder. So our people from the DP bloc failed to read the Nyayo philosophy, and most of them have actually been purged out. Now, to my brother Musiri, I want to also tell him that in multi-party dispensation, in other words, developing a party is not developed on pure democracy. It is built on guided democracy. That you could see, look, yes, okay, there is Akol, there is Musiri, but then who is better placed to represent us in this particular area? The issue of Zahara and Shamim, because actually that was one of the biggest contests within. And I've liked the way NUP has handled it, because it was actually turning out to put the party, to polarize the operations within the party. You get it? So that is how parties operate that world over, that they say, look here, you can maybe step aside, let so and so come in. I'll give an example. In the 60s, John Kakonge lost in Bunyoro. And Paul Mwanga went through. But UPC told Paul Mwanga, look here, we need John Kakonge in parliament so that he can be appointed the minister for the people, because Bunyoro ideally voted DP. And Paul Mwanga resigned his parliamentary seat. Being a good cadre at the time. Being a good cadre, that's it. And Kakonge joined parliament. So these are things that have really happened. In Kenya, when Moi was bringing Uhuru as when he was introducing Uhuru into politics, he had lost a parliamentary seat in Gatundu, but they got one senior member of the party requested him to step aside and then give way to Kenyatta, and that's how Kenyatta came to parliament. He was appointed minister of local government to popularize him, and in 2002 he came in as the presidential candidate of Kano. So that is how politics work, that political parties are built on guided democracy. If you don't use guided democracy, then you break the party.
Interesting. I want to ask Mr. Hassan Kirumira.
I had my time, please.
You had your time? Allow me, I will return to you. Don't worry about that. Hassan Kirumira, what we are seeing looks like carrot and stick, especially in the battle for prioritization in order to allow the National Unity Platform achieve the ultimate goal of dislodging the national resistance movement. The tides have changed since 2021. And maybe some realities have been realized by NUP that loyalty must be seen to be practiced by members, and you're not taking any chances. I do not know whether addressing the challenge now in allowing democracy to thrive within the party might basically put a black spot on your credentials as an organization that preaches the same to the greater body politic that is Uganda. Are you intending to bring this kind of modus operandi to government?
Of course, loyalty is one of the core values of the National Unity Platform. Like any other party, it's very significant to have members that are loyal towards the party ideologies and what the party believes in. And I want to believe that members of the National Unity Platform have been loyal to some extent. And those that have not been loyal decided to move on, and they are far away from the National Unity Platform. Whoever participated in this party vetting process, that is it's a very good sign of loyalty, highest degree of loyalty towards the party, that besides other parties that are available in the country, I'm going into this particular party to be vetted and possibly become a flag bearer in this particular position. But of course, people's thinking, ideas are different. I'll give you a very good example in my own constituency. You will find lawyers that will tell you, no, the parliament needs lawyers. And that's why I have to be in parliament. forgetting that Parliament, the core, actually Article 76, 77, 78, and 79, establishment of Parliament, composition and roles of Parliament, they go beyond the legislative role. We have to do oversight, we have to do appropriation, we have to represent. And for you to, for example, do oversight, you need to be a very good researcher. And that's why I call upon each and every Ugandan to participate in politics. Doctors, we have committees, health committee. You cannot have a lawyer sitting on a committee on health. We have education committee. You cannot have a lawyer to sit on a committee on education. So people will definitely have opinions. But what I want Ugandans to understand is that loyalty is a core value of any political party that wants to move forward. And at any one time, you are expected to be loyal towards your party. If you not, then in Uganda they say, you have to be part and parcel of the party ideologies and what the party believes in. And I want to believe that's who we are, and that's what we want to take into government.
The way forward will be very, very important in how the National Unity Platform plays this out. That's a question David Musiri will answer for us very shortly. Kassim Kamugisha, submit and ensure that train of thought that you were putting through does not disappear.
Chris, I'm happy that Uganda is towing the path of democracy. And what we need to understand is that democracy does not have a very clear and universal definition of vehicle to attaining the goal. So for my brother Musiri and the likes, subjecting yourself to a process means that at some point you have to be bound by the outcomes of the process, though democracy still opens up doors for other options if you're not satisfied. And so I think the ECM of NUP was on a test in terms of proving to Ugandans how much it can deliver from a closed indoor process. And dissenting voices means that Uganda is not closed in terms of someone putting out their alternative views if they're not satisfied. So the fact that the tribunal headed by a professor is also in place simply speaks to the fact that Uganda is entrenching itself in democracy. What we always have to accept is that our democracy is quite younger.
And fragile.
And I wanted to use the word younger.
Yeah, okay, let's keep fragile out of it.
It's quite younger. So we shouldn't expect that it will deliver the same results as the democracy of the US, as the democracy of UK, where we always want to benchmark. But also what intrigues me is that I was in an election in Kabale recently, and I would be intrigued if the EC of NRM had announced someone who was not part of the electoral process within our contested position. And so I think for the case of these other areas where people imagine and they are not part of that position is something that of course brings a question. And of course it has to be, I want to, Karim is an Imam of Parliament. And I want to agree, Hassan, I want to agree with him that a political party might want to achieve something, but justice delayed is justice denied. If we focus on the campaign and we don't address the issues of the Musiris who are saying someone wasn't part of the process and has been handed over a card, it could destabilize the party in the process of elections. So I think he has a case that someone wasn't part of the process but was declared. As I wind up this one, you see where we are moving to a transition. The greatest worry of every young person like Musiri, Hassan and myself would be, where do you find yourself in a transition when you have been part of the front line desk. I think Musiri is looking at 2020, then 2025, and is looking at the chances in 2031. And of course, the demographic setup of Kampala in terms of the age, the vigor, and is saying, will I be able to survive after 2031? But also, what are the options available within the party that if he doesn't get the card, there is another option? Shall we see the Secretary General, for example, of NUP, relinquishing his position at the SG, since he has been given a card to go to Parliament, and then people like Musiri who are not given opportunity to get cards become SGs
for Secretary General positions?
I think be appointed SGs, spokespersons, so that there is an accommodative window for everyone.
There's a small concern here.
Help his point of information.
Yes, it's a
Given.
The way Sheikh is delivering is like we are going to remain in the opposition all the time. We Ugandans, we are going into government. And Musiri David, you see here, is going to be a very powerful person in our government. We do not want to move Musiri David to be a Secretary General only of the party. He is a leader, and we want him into position of responsibility of government in the next government, which is being ushered in January 2026.
I want to agree with him.
Very quickly, we have to go on location.
And you see, when you are an imam, you give hope. So he's giving hope to everyone, including Musiri. But as we move, you can see that
interesting.
For NRM, which did public process of choosing flag bearers, and even NUP, which did internal process, they all have questions somewhere. But what I would want to put across is that at some point, the party should be bigger than individual. I was a second runner-up in Kabale, but I declared that I want to contest as independent. Why? Okay. We want to ensure that you build, but also you don't seem to be the one breaking the core and the backbone of a political party, yet you are a cadre. So Musiri is torn apart between two things. Okay. Between the process which took place and its credibility and his loyalty to them.
Welcome back from the break. For those that have been with us, if you're just joining us, you missed a whole lot of a good discussion as well as updates from our reporters on the ground who are following the campaign trail. Allow me come back to the studio and engage David Musiri. David Musiri, when the tribunal finally sits and looks through your case and the complaint that you have with regard to the NUP ticket, I'm sure you're going to agree with the tribunal's decision, not so? After that is done, what is the way forward for the larger number of youthful cadres within the National Unity Platform who might not have gotten the card but stand a chance to be more like beacons when it comes to governance within the party? Would you be looking at positions including Secretary General?
Chris and panelists, I want to be very clear. And we don't want to sound as if we are here castigating the party. But first of all, I want to thank the party because they set a precedent. When we went for the local government flags, the same committee was put in existence, and actually it gave justice to a few cases. I don't mean all of them. And we also don't want to sound as if we are critiquing the EMs of the party. It is credible. We actually appreciate it, and I want to congratulate it because there are people with their consciousness that cannot be doubted. For example, we have a young man in Dr. Ivan Sempija, former president of Makerere, actually was a result of a protest vote, and the chairperson has off. So we are not doubting it, and we are not saying it is incompetent. Okay. Yes, but it is democracy. It is democracy at the play that we have to explain. By the way, I want also to draw your concern to the fact that an election is a process. It's not a one-day event, but every event matters.
Okay.
Yes.
David Musiri, thank you very much, and thank you too to the rest of my panelists, Monday Akol, Kassim Kamugisha, as well as Honorable Hassan Kirumira. The dynamics of our time won't allow us to exhaust the conversation, but I do believe by starting it now opens up opportunities for further discussions and an understanding of how things are playing out in as far as National Unity Platform's attempts to take power are concerned.